I'm looking forward to. Did you see the thing with Tottenham
Oh
sponsor?
yeah,
That'll be good for the next episode. That's very
classic
funny.
Spurs. No more they deserve. Um,
You'd be so raged, wouldn't you? Imagine paying for that.
like whoever fucking, I guess it's probably someone like us who just runs
Some poor intern.
the
Yeah.
Dulux fucking Twitter feed. Can you do a job in their back? Probably do better. And he's thinking like, what? Like, how many fucking followers does the Dulux page have?
Yeah.
Because whatever about like going into a Tottenham, conversation, he's still probably thinking it's Dulux though. You know what I mean, it's not. He's not aware in his own mind what he's doing. Working from home, the poor bastard.
Yeah, somebody did it on his phone probably.
Yeah. While having a fucking Carlsberg in the middle of the day.
Thought he was logged on to his burner.
Yeah, well, they have 23,000 followers. Like, in his mind, thinking, yeah, no one cares. No one reads these tweets.
Yeah.
And that's where he
Big mistake.
made his fatal mistake. I mean, he's definitely sacked now, if not.
Oh, 100%. It was in The Guardian. That's not a good look.
Yeah, poor fucker.
That's probably the most most publicity Dulux has ever gotten, though. So he did the job.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same dog.
Definitely not. No way.
Maybe the same lineage, perhaps. The same genes.
Maybe, yeah.
We should be saving these golden bits for next week. What am I doing? Same lineage of the dog. I can't be born myself 2 minutes in. Come on, Cathal, wake up. Come on.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with your hosts, Cathal and Will. Champions League, Europa League, European edition. Spring has sprung. Restrictions are just a social construct. Tell you what, we're on the way to great things, or maybe even worse things. I don't know. I mean, the vaccines are kind of stalled or something, or they're.
It hasn't changed. Yeah, I don't know.
I took a break from the news there for about 6 months. That was good, and then I came back.
Nothing's changed though.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was like, oh yeah, vaccines are good. We're on the way. I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll allow myself a little bit of hope. And then it's like, actually,
do not get the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm like, oh well, back to the bedroom. But at least we have some European football to distract us from the waking nightmare that is current day.
We're in real trouble when the gap between the end of the season and the Euros, the few weeks, that's going to be tough. Silence.
I'm going to be very drunk for those few weeks, I think, just, for my own sake. But yeah, we had some Champo Ligo. Did we start saying that Champo Ligo in school, or where have I started saying that? Have I heard someone say that?
I think it comes from school. Yeah,
we used to say I sometimes I hear things and I just kind of soak it in. I just start repeating it.
it.
Yeah, I steal it.
That sounds like one of our listeners in Australia. It sounds like something he would say.
Oh yeah, that is, he said it. I stole it from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as he's not a commercial entity, I think it's fine for me to borrow.
I don't think he's trademarked Champo Ligo.
If he has, by the time this goes out, it'll be too late because it'll be mine. I'll have trademark Champo Ligo, and I'll be sued. Yeah, but on to the action, Will. That's not, enough of this small talk, enough of this witty banter about stuff that only you and I know about. As much as we love to leave listeners in the dark, we should get into it. So we had Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday night. What was the Tuesday night game? It was Chelsea Porto,
Bayern PSG.
I mean, no prizes for guessing which was the one to stick with on Tuesday night. Same as last week, really. I did the same thing. I had them both open, but I ended up just watching the PSG Bayern. And this week I just exclusively watched PSG Bayern, and I was not let down.
Yeah, it was a good crack. The whole week, the story was pretty much not many goals, but very stressful games of like there could have been 10 goals.
Yeah. I think it was because, it was the second half essentially, as we said. So there's everybody knows what's at stake now. Like the first
It's
game,
one team clinging on and one team desperately trying to score.
yeah, like Bayern came out and like everybody there, every watching knew they have to score 2 goals to win this. So that's what they came out and they were creating loads of chances.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, not Chuba Apcom. I'm thinking of Chuba Moting.
Chopper Motor.
That's much easier to remember, which is a terrible thing. But
that's probably why you said it.
Chuba Moting, he's basically like a Harry Kane figure at Bayern Munich. I mean, he scored in both legs, but he can't do it on his own. You know what I mean?
Can't do it all.
Come on, Bayern. This guy's a machine in the Champions League, but he can't get you through single-handedly. If you'd said that, Chuba Moting was going to score twice, one each leg, and think that they're not going to go through, you would have been very surprised.
Yeah.
But they, like I said, they created a lot of chances, Bayern. But it wasn't like, sometimes you see when they're missing a striker or any team's missing a striker, it goes to the guy who should be Lewandowski, but it's not. Like they weren't going to Chuba Moting and he was skying them or missed them. They were kind of getting the ball in the general area and it wasn't quite going to a certain man. There was chances there, but it wasn't like clean cut chances. PSG obviously played the same way, catch on the break, catch on the counter with Neymar and Mbappe.
Yeah.
This could have been a career-defining game for Neymar if he put one of them goals away.
Yeah, he unfortunately didn't. Was it 2 sitters he missed at the start of the game, pretty much?
Oh, and he was so good on the ball. I mean, again, like you can say, do it in the French League, Farmers League, whatever.
But he does it in the Champions League as well. He has that crazy record.
That's the thing. Like doing against Bayern, like that is as legitimate as you want. Like you do against them, you can't say anything. Like he was unbelievable. Yeah. If he just got one of the goals, it would have been like a career-defining. Like he is here, he's arrived at 28 years of age. Like he's the best player in the world. Look, you think that like how long ago was it that they were saying he's going to be taking over Messi and Ronaldo's spots?
Yeah, it just never happened. Yeah,
that was probably as close to I've seen the argument for him being one of the best players in the world. But again, just as always, kind of stops a bit short. Now it was enough on the night. They got 1-0 through Chuba Moting, as you say, but it's hard to know. Like in a way, you'd say PSG were hanging on, but PSG had hit the post 3 times, had loads of chances. I mean, maybe Bayern were the ones hanging on.
Yeah, it was a very odd game because both teams looked stressed out. There was no like composure at all. Everyone looked like desperate to go through no matter what.
Yeah.
Whereas normally in those kind of games, like the team that's sitting back or defending will be nice and composed. Like every ball that goes out, they're like, nice one, on to the next. PSG, it looked like they were screaming throughout the whole game.
When you're sitting back and you're trying to clear the ball, it's like the park and the bus type thing. It has a different kind of vibe to it. But like when you're desperately defending and then trying to desperately break out and score, it's made for some insane scenes, end-to-end stuff. I will say, not to have a go, but like Kimmich kicked the ball away a lot. I thought like a lot of spraying the ball like a bad CVG, just like I don't know what he was doing, like just nowhere near players. And then obviously they created a lot of chances, but you just kind of felt like they were kicking the ball away, especially in the second half. It was like you need to kind of create more clear-cut chances, and he was just giving the ball away.
Just rushing it.
Not that his fault. I think they probably lost in the first leg. But
do you think Bayern would have gone through if they had Lewandowski?
Yeah, well, that was going to say that Lewandowski was a big loss for them. Maybe they would have been more kind of precise up front, something to aim at, maybe.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Chuba Moting, like I said, 2 goals in 2 games. What more do you want from the man? But also, then you look at PSG were missing Marquinhos for that entire second leg and most of the first leg, and they're missing Marco Verratti in the middle as well.
Yeah, Verratti's like one of their best players. Like he kind of brings everything together.
Yeah, so you can say that they're missing Lewandowski, but I saw a list actually on Twitter of all the players that are missing. I think only from Champions League teams through injury. No, ridiculous. The list of like world class players. So everything is to different degrees, of course. Some people rely on more, like Liverpool obviously rely on Van Dijk a lot more, but
Yeah.
everyone's missing players, so I don't think you can put down to that. I think
Mm.
PSG, Bayern were pressed them very high as well. They played that high line.
Yeah.
But just the one touch passing from PSG, just pinging the ball around, like these
Yeah.
lads are savage. Like,
Yeah.
they're a really good teams. I think it's easy to take away from them, but yeah, they're on the tier now.
They're really seems like every year they're getting closer and closer and closer to finally winning it.
Yeah,
'Cause
for sure.
it's pretty rare you see them bottle nowadays. That used to be their whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's any kind of team that's a new enough team in terms of the finances that
Yeah.
they have. It's and we talked about that before when we didn't watch the games as carefully. Maybe we thought, oh yeah, like culture and like history, that's kind of a bit of nonsense. Like, it's not what the players have, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't make a difference. The more experience you have, like as a club, not even as the players on the pitch, it's like you're used to European nights, it used to be games. So I think it's probably a combination of over the last 10 years, them kind of
Yeah.
playing more of these big games and knowing what to expect. But yeah, they go through. They play City the next round, isn't it?
City,
Yeah. But the other game that on Tuesday night was Chelsea Porto. Now that was the opposite in that it was a boring game
a stinker. Yeah.
with a really unbelievable goal.
Is that the first ever consolation bicycle kick?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I just thinking that like the worst time to score the greatest goal of your life.
Yeah, probably the goal of the season in the Champions League. Who cares?
In a neutral venue, so you can't even give it to the away fans.
Yeah.
Or your home fans, obviously, which would be better. And then, like I say, it's consolation, so you can't even say after, come on, boys, back, come on, we have 30 seconds to get next goal. Complete. If it was like say 70 minutes to score that goal,
yeah,
there's maybe a chance you can get a second, but like the game was totally over, but you're still allowed to celebrate. It's like it's unwritten rule. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, after the game, he's probably thinking, "Oh fuck, did I score that goal? That was unbelievable!" Like, because he couldn't like get back in the game, and oh yeah, you feel sorry for him. But people are saying it's a bit of a shinner, bit of a maybe it wasn't exactly where he was aiming.
People say that about most bicycle kick stuff. People say that about, remember Rooney's one against City as well. Fuck off, he's in midair and he's kicking a ball backwards.
Oh yeah, I mean you
They
have to
all count.
You have to remember that the athleticism and the coordination it takes to contort your body and then connect with the ball coming towards it. I mean, ridiculous.
You know how hard it is to score a goal standing on your feet against the like Champions League goalkeeper. You don't even want a midair.
So yeah, I mean, maybe he was lucky enough with the way the shin deflected the ball in the corner, but yeah, I would feel a bit sorry for him to score a goal like that and not be able to celebrate or
anything at all.
And then it counts for nothing. That's it just counts for absolutely nothing.
Literally the least important goal he's probably ever scored.
The greatest and least in sport. Yeah, damn, that's rough. Yeah, Chelsea go through a solid, dogged performance. That's what they call when it's a shite game. They go real dogged.
They dug deep.
They grind out the result there. Really, chess
didn't
match.
do anything.
It's like, chess is fucking boring, man. You must see chess on Sky Sports. So yeah, they were choosing like games. There was a little bit of controversy after the game where Tuchel apparently said something insulting to the opposing manager. Thomas Tuchel denies insulting Porto boss Canseco as players clash after Chelsea's fiery Champions League win. There's a great picture of Tuchel looking bemused, and then there's the manager and Pepe pointing directly in his face. I'm like, what did I say? What did I say? You said SMIC. You said SMIC. Oh, he used the he said my English is not perfect. It's no use. It's no use.
I've heard him speak loads now.
He said my English is not perfect. It's no use talking about it. There was no exchange of words because I was focused on the game. I don't know why he reacted. I didn't quite understand. But if my son acted the way he did, I wouldn't feed him for a week, he said. A bizarre way to finish that one. I heard, this was the Canseco said, I heard some insults. It was not pretty, and my irritation at the end has something to do with this. I didn't even say the word to him, but Canseco says afterwards, it wasn't like that, but it's over. I guess you had to be there. It sounds like you know, it wasn't what he said; it was the way he said it. You had to be there, man.
You know is what he said.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I would know I was mad. And boy, for me to get mad, it has to be something. So look, you weren't there, you don't get it. Whatever, it's over. forget I said it. Edit that bit out. He said, it's like, we're live, sir. This isn't your podcast. Oh man, I can't wait to go back to normal life and start talking to people, and then just like at the end of a sentence that goes there. We'll edit that.
We'll cut that.
Like what?
I'll put in the clip here.
I just signpost my conversation. Like, no, I'll put in the clip from last week. Like what? Oh no, from last week I was saying something different.
When you first sit down to talk to people, you're like, all right, what are we going to talk about today? Did you see this? Did you hear about that story? Right, we'll touch on all those.
At the end, like, so anything you want to touch on? No? All right, wraps up. So what are you talking about?
You want to list off your social media?
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
Well, look, before we get you out of here, anything else you want to talk about? No? Thanks for coming, by the way. We appreciate you coming.
I invited you.
I'm in the line at Supermax. Listen up my social media. So it's at No Nonsense Pod on Twitter. It's like, okay.
What do you want?
Oh man,
it's weird that Chelsea are in a semi-final. I don't know how they've managed that. It doesn't feel like they've ever been that good this season.
Yeah, I mean, for Chelsea to get to the semi-final, it is a great achievement for them. But I think it's similar to when they won it. That time it was AVB was there, and they were looked absolutely terrible. It was like they spent a lot of money on like Hazard and no, not Hazard. Sorry, it was the year before. It was maybe the end of that last Jose team. Or last, I'm talking shit. The last league winning team in 2010 that they had. I did forget the manager that City had, Ancelotti or Avram Grant, whatever. And it's kind of like, all right, this season is a bust, but sack the manager. He's not the man for us. And then they just kind of, I think they beat Napoli, they beat Benfica. Like they went on a run against like maybe not the best teams,
but that's who they got. Yeah. And
then grew into the competition, and then they like ridiculously knocking out Barcelona. The Gary Neville commentary bit. Like that, and then they won the whole fucking thing against Bayern. I wonder, but that was kind of more emotional, kind of one last fight for Lampard and Terry and all those boys.
Like these boys don't have that affinity for Chelsea. They're only just got here.
Unless, you're talking about Thiago Silva. He fucking loves the club.
That's true. Yeah.
For some reason. He's a passionate man. You wonder how much further they can go, but you wouldn't have said in the dark days of 5th place that they would have got this far in the Champions League. But hey,
who do they play next then?
And they play. Who's on the side? Madrid. Yeah, Real Madrid. Who they beat Liverpool on Wednesday night. Yeah. The Real Madrid won against Liverpool. They were obviously up 3-1 in the first leg, and then they go back to Anfield. Now they say it's Anfield, but it's
not.
It's just the building. It's it's bricks and mortar now. It's not.
It's a flight is the problem, not the stadium they're playing in, really.
So, but again, same thing as Bayern. They knew that they had to score 2 goals. Or was it? Yeah, they scored 2 goals to kind of make competitive, and then also keep Madrid out.
Yeah.
And they came out really, really good. I think the first 3 minutes, Salah had that chance. That who knows? Like it's one of those what ifs kind of. Oh, well, that would have changed the game. Who knows what Real Madrid were doing, or maybe they would have changed things. God knows. But I think it was the first like opening exchanges.
Yeah.
Milner absolutely went for Casemiro. I think he got caught with the elbow in the end. Like he just like flew in, and it was like, and that's when you do it. You do it in the first 30 seconds, and the ref goes, yellow, I think. Like it was okay. Then not right after that, but soon after that, then Fabinho caught Casemiro, kind of did his back of his Achilles.
Yeah.
So like they set their stall out, like we're going to put you under a lot of pressure, and maybe push the line as much as we can. But Casemiro said, all right, fuck this.
He loves that.
Enough of this bollocks. Where's that first lad? And he absolutely made a beeline.
He went through him.
Right through for a shortcut. Right at the Liverpool bench.
In front of the bench as well. That's so good.
And then Robertson came in. Oh, man. And then he just like casually walks away and say, Quinn goes, oh, me? Oh, yeah. For the tackle? Yeah. Oh.
I don't know about that ref, a foul.
Well, okay, you're the boss. Hey, you're in charge here. I respect your authority.
Yeah, that is not a player that's not the player you'd want to be like, all right, go take out Casemiro. You'd definitely be like, oh, fuck, he's going to get me back.
And boy, did he.
You nearly killed that old man.
Yeah, for Miller, he was the oldest player, I think, in 43 years to start a quarter-final for Liverpool.
That's mad.
Some achievement for him. Yeah, if anything, I'm higher up on Real Madrid than I was beforehand. And look, we made the bold claim that, hey, guys, Real Madrid are good and they might win this. The team that has most of the 3-in-a-row team, they're pretty good.
The team that I think has won the most ever.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That was our take, So if anybody else says that, we come up with that first. We first said that Real Madrid were good. But yeah, after that game, because the first game, like Liverpool came out and they pressed them high, and then that wasn't working. So they kind of sat back, and Real Madrid had it all their own way, kind of a bit, and then they're at home in Madrid. So kind of think, that's an easy game to win. But this game, like I say, they came out and they were hitting hard and they were really pressing. They obviously couldn't keep up the whole game, but it was a tough game for Real Madrid, and they came through it nonetheless. Modric was unbelievable.
He's crazy, isn't he? He just goes and goes and goes. He doesn't stop.
Like he can go either way, obviously, but I mean, he was the one doing the most pressing as well in the middle. Like he wasn't giving them time and space in the ball. I think that's what makes him like one of the true greats of the game is the longevity of his career as much as anything else. Like,
but he hasn't changed. Like he hasn't sacrificed that in his game either. Like he still runs as much and everything. It's crazy. Do you know he played all 3 of the international games, the full 90 minutes, and every game since? Like he hasn't had a break.
Oh, he's unbelievable!
Insane.
Like to still go at this pace, and when you think that Euro 2008 is when he was spotted by Tottenham. So you're talking 12 years of like playing unbelievable stuff. And when he got signed from Tottenham first, he wasn't great. I think.
I think he was worst signing of the season in some competition or award or something.
Well, I think to be fair, he drew that Alex Song to Barcelona, which was the same year, if you can believe that. Think of where Alex Song's career's gone and Modric's career's gone since then. I mean, some players want the arm around the shoulders, other one needs to be voted the worst transfer of the year in a newspaper. But yeah, like since then he kicked on and like became integral to that 3-in-a-row team. He's unbelievable. They pressed him. It was a bit there where Milner was like rushed towards him and he just like dropped his shoulder and went around him 1-2-1-2, then sprayed to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah,
and Miller just like stopped. It's like, oh fuck! Like I mean, because it's easy to say
what he's supposed to do.
Because it's easy to just like shout press, but like if he can just like drop the shoulder, go around you 1-2, and then you're like, there's not much you can do. It worked a bit on Toni Kroos. He didn't have his best game. He was channeling a bit of Kimmich there, kicked the ball away a bit, and he got taken off. And tell you what, Valverde is not right back either.
No,
Mane was doing him with the first few minutes. That's how they got that first chance with Salah.
Speaking of right backs, what about the power rankings? Because Trent had a good game, but he didn't get none of the crosses landed on anyone's heads. There were good balls, but no one was there every time.
Yeah,
so I don't know what Gareth thinks of that.
I think he has to go. I mean, like when you see him play, like he just has superior quality to most English players. Do you know what I mean? Like the way he could put that ball in. And look, I remember when they be playing Messi. I think when Bayern beat Barcelona that one time when they hammered them, and the key was poor. I think they played all midfielders or whatever, and put the pressure on Iniesta and Xavi and Busquets in the middle, and just wouldn't give them time to pick up a spot, because if you do get the ball to Messi, there's very little you can do.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that Vinicius is on that level, but when you get like really top quality wingers, marking them 1-on-1, like you're going to need help. You're going to need to have a tactic. Like you need to defend as a team. You can't say, "All right, Trent, put the clamps on him." I've seen Philip Lahm get done. I've seen Seamus Coleman get done. Like good defensive right backs. It's like you need to defend the team against like top players. there's very little you can do sometimes. So I mean, Trent had a good game. They obviously had tactics to mark those over the top balls.
Yeah.
I think he has to go now.
Yeah.
Not based on this, but like you just see him play and you think he's not an awful defensive player. I've seen worse defensive.
Yeah, and he's definitely the best going forward by a mile. Like he's unbelievable going forward.
So even if you're not starting, even if you're starting Kyle Walker or Trippier or something
Bring
like
him
that,
off the bench to ping balls in, like
like if you're losing the game or you need a goal and you just take off Declan Rice and stick on Dominic Calvert-Lewin in a non-formation, just throwing shit and see what sticks, rather than saying, "What if you just take off the right back and put in another way of crosses going in?"
Yeah,
it's a different way of attacking. So I mean, I think he will definitely go. Will he start? I don't know, but he had a decent game for them last night. Salah, I mean, that chance was bad.
Yeah.
Had a few more chances, but and he's the one scoring from this year. Mane had a good game, but Salah was the one with the chances, and he just, really, I don't know what to make of it.
Those front three, it literally looks like watching some of those games that they don't like each other anymore. They're totally different to what they used to be. They're all always on different wavelengths. Salah never gives the ball to anyone else when
he's one of the most selfish players I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
To be fair. And Firmino, who usually he makes up for Salah's lack of passing with his great interplay. He just hasn't been at it this year. I don't know. Like we say, we never know. It could be something that's going on at home or a personal thing, but I mean, he just hasn't seemed like the same, happy kind of player he was in the last few years. Maybe it's just like the last 3 years have been a grueling last 3 years.
Hard, yeah.
To keep it going again, especially during lockdown and everything that your whole life is kind of different. But I don't know, they pressed well and they defended well all over the pitch.
It was weird. It was literally like the best game I've seen them have probably in months. But it didn't happen. I will say though, Madrid were missing Ramos, Varane.
They're missing 2 right backs. Like I said, they're playing Valverde there at right back.
Yeah, and then so they're missing 3 of their starting back 4.
It's always like the job of the defensive midfielder to play right back. And it's like,
yeah, I don't do that. It's not my job.
When we're playing centre back, it's like kind of the same skills in terms of positioning and defending, but right back is you come against like a Sadio Mane. It's like fuck. And he got attacked very early on, and then Asensio started coming back and doubling up. But it's unfair. I just mark one of the best wingers in the world there. Just do a job for us at right back. Yeah, it's like Champions League quarterfinal.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, second leg. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, we're up on this one. They're not going to score.
They only need 2 goals.
And if they come directly from you, that's something we'll deal with when we come to it. I bet he was thanking that Salah was Salah, man, and Salah for Salah, for Mal Salah.
You okay?
Yeah, that was the Liverpool game. Liverpool Real Madrid in that one. Real Madrid got through. They face, as we said, Chelsea. And then the other game was City Dortmund. Now I was watching the Liverpool game, I should say, and it flashed up Dortmund 1, City 0. I went, oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here it comes.
And it was that man, Jude Bellingham.
The 17-year-old, the child.
17-year-old, Jesus. He looks strong for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, and he's very vocal and stuff as well. He seems.
Yeah, when you think back to even Ronaldo when he was younger, or
he
Fabregas
got kicked around the pitch at United when he was a teenager.
They were quite slight, almost. You could tell that they were teenagers. But this lad looks like
a man.
He looks like a man at 17. He has to go to the Euro, surely. I mean, how could you
even just to give him the experience, because he's going to be going to all of the rest of them, so getting used to it now.
I mean, he was so good against City in the 2 legs.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he'd walk into the Leicester team. Huh? Yeah, I remember seeing a story about him last year. I read this on last year when he was going from Birmingham to Dortmund. Linked to everybody, and he was like, no, he's going to Borussia Dortmund. It's 30 million to Borussia Dortmund. It's like, never going to happen. Who is this fucking kid from Birmingham? And then it just kind of.
Do you remember?
It's not reported.
Remember Birmingham retired his jersey number? Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah,
that's weird.
I heard about that this week, and I was like, oh fuck,
losers. I think he made played for one season. It didn't do anything with them. Played well, obviously, but didn't win anything with them.
Yeah, I would say he played very well, Will. If they were like, well, he didn't do anything, let's retire his jersey. I'd say, Birmingham are watching and I've never seen a player like this at this age. They probably were blown away by him to retire his jersey. Didn't do anything. Come on, he must have done something.
No, but it's just like you retired the jersey for like a lifelong thing, not as a preemptive thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, maybe just the pressure of like the next guy. That was Jude Bellingham's jersey that you're wearing. It's like, oh, the guy who won the World Cup for England at 17. That's his jersey. Oh, fuck. So, you know what? We don't want that bad juju in our club. Let's just retire the jersey just in case.
Build a statue now.
Yeah. I remember Schalke tried to retire Raul's jersey after he played for them for a couple of seasons. And he said, nah, come on, boys. I've only been here for a couple of seasons. You know what I mean? Jude Bellingham was like, yeah, man, sounds about right from what I've done in this club.
No, but he's only 17. Of course he is. He's not going to be like, no. He's going to be like, yeah, unreal.
Remember, Mescu and club, boys. You know, we got to no player bigger than the club. Yeah, so he scored the first goal, a half chance. Like it was a fucking half chance. When I saw the highlights, like, this guy's unbelievable. But it would be like, you know, I always say a bit like Ireland, scored too early. That's probably very disrespectful to Dortmund. But I mean, they are playing a better team in City. So if they had managed to hang on a bit longer and maybe lull them into a false sense of, oh yeah, this goal is coming for us, and then got their goal, they might have done a bit better. But it's like, I think it's 25 minutes. They're never going to hold on to City for the whole game. So
you know who I think is very underrated, and who probably should be going to the Euros. But I don't think he is Sancho, because do you see he's been out the last 7 games, and Haaland hasn't scored in 7 games for Dortmund.
Kind of like a Son Kane type thing going on over there.
Yeah. Also, that's worrying. If I was Haaland and I haven't scored in a long period of time, right when the Mino World Tour is on, that's not looking good. Because like, if that doesn't fix itself by the end of the season, people are going to be like, how much do you want for him?
Yeah, it will. I'd say in negotiations they'll use that to kind of lower us. But when I was watching, and I said in the last few episodes ago, I made the claim that, you know, a bit like Lukaku was good on the break, but I hadn't seen much kind of hold up play. In both these games, he got the assist for the goal. Like he won the ball against 2 defenders, held it up, and then gave off a good pass. So he did show he's not just like a flat track bully, or he's like this just machine who just bangs in goals. He does have link up play as well. So I mean, in negotiations, I'd say you're right. They'll say, hey, maybe he died towards the end of the season, but I think in reality, like, oh my god, this guy really is, you know, he has it all. So they'll be still happy to pay the full amount, I think.
I think as well, sometimes, like, what age is he? 18 or something?
20, I think.
20, but and he was 6'4". He's probably still growing.
Yeah, they say you go to 21. I held on to that for a long time, but it never really happened for me. I kind of stopped growing maybe around 18, 19, but yeah, maybe you never know. But yeah, he was good. They missed Sancho, like I say. I think Dortmund is a team. Again, every team is missing players because the games have been just so grueling. But I don't think you can miss when you're kind of punching above your weight a bit. I don't think you can miss a player like Sancho for Dortmund. So City eventually got the winner. It was Phil Foden.
Phil Foden, yeah, another teenager, I think.
Yeah, another young golden generation player for England. He was very good for them. De Bruyne was excellent, of course, as well. You just wonder what City though. You know, you wonder about.
It's because you've seen it so many times. Of like, this is the year they're going to win everything.
Yeah,
and then it crumbles. But I think this is the furthest they've gotten in the Champions League now. So that's worrying. That's no good.
This is only their second semi-final, isn't it, in the Champions League? So,
I think this is the first one, isn't it? That was the Monaco game a few years ago. Was that a semi-final?
I don't know. I'm just remembering people saying that on the commentary. They could be wrong. I could be wrong. We've done no research to this, folks. We're just remembering what we saw from the highlights of these games. Like, tell you was good, man. Haaland, he's fucking. Tell you what, boys, he's some player, boys.
Him.
Jeffrey Sancho, man. I tell you.
The game is on the laptop right now as we're doing the podcast.
We're watching the highlights.
Did you see that goal by? Never mind, you missed it.
Yeah. Oh God! We jest, folks, but it's behind every joke there's a kernel of truth. That's what makes it funny. But yeah, I know a City. I like on paper you'd say they're the best team in it, but I don't think there's any real favorite because they all have like different, qualities. Like City, like say the best team, but it's Pep. Like it's this thing of the false nine playing midfielders. Like forget the striker and right back, play more midfielders. It's like
Yeah.
that's how he wants to play, and like it hasn't really worked anywhere since Barcelona. And he's had great Bayern teams, some very good City teams. It's like maybe that only works with Lionel Messi. Like it's been 10 years since he won the Champions League this year, and it's like yes, the only thing you think he's going to try and overcomplicate it. He's going to try and be too clever with this shit. And you'd say, oh well, Jesus is not the level, but I mean, if Moting can score 2 goals in the quarterfinals, surely Jesus could be of some use as a centre forward. But I think Pep has his heart set and winning his way, and I don't know if it's going to happen for him.
For other teams, this will be a problem. It probably won't be for City, but see, the Carabao Cup final is on 2 days before the first leg of the semi-finals.
No way, is it?
Which, 2 days. It's on Sunday, and then they're playing on Tuesday, and the League Cup won't move it.
Damn.
Would you not help out the teams in your country to try and win the fucking Champions League?
Like, well, not if the quadruple is at stake. The game's gone. That happens.
They forget the whole closer.
Thing. Yeah. It's actually a late kickoff. In fact, it's the next day.
But like most teams, that'd be a big problem because then you got to play a B team against in the Carabao Cup. But City's B team is unbelievable. Like there's no one going to be missing in that game, really.
But like we were saying about like even winning league games before a Champions League game, you kind of want to win it, a winning mentality. You don't want to lose a final before an important game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because like even if it's only Carabao Cup, you have to watch the team go up, get their medals.
And that's the quadruple thing gone again.
and you have this history as like chokers or whatever. Like I mean, they're gonna want to win that, so they'll play their best team. But 2 games recovery.
I think if they win 3 games in the league, they win the league as well. So they're going to want to get that done early.
Yeah, I mean, the good problems to have, I suppose. But
yeah.
I guess good problems are ones with easy solutions. But
because you don't want to be like, say they fuck up the next 2 games, then they lose the Carabao Cup final, and then like they go into the Champions League panicked from that. Then you have to go back, and it's like you have to win the next 3 games, or you're not going to win the league.
Yeah, that's
a lot
the kind
of
thing.
Big
it's like
steps.
Yeah,
you have to do them.
You don't want to be that. But yeah, maybe. Fuck, I didn't even realize that at all. Good insight, Will. Damn.
Might be wrong.
And then they play like we say PSG, who definitely have the best strikers left in the competition. I would say like Neymar and Mbappe, unbelievable.
Even Di Maria looked great.
Di Maria, he was unbelievably good for them.
Yeah.
And they won't hit the post 3 times every night.
Yeah,
But if they're missing Verratti, if he's not right, they're missing Marquinhos. They have gaps in their team too. But like I said, they've been on a tear. Like they got rid of Barcelona, the remontada, which clearly affected them.
The 2 of them, the 2 big ones, they did.
And then Bayern last year, who beat them in the final, they've beaten. So they probably fear nobody now.
That's big.
Bring on anybody.
Even the smaller one of they beat United in the group stage. That was surely on their minds before as well, from losing to them twice in a row.
Yeah, no,
that's probably the first one of being like, okay, we can move on from that. Now on to Barca.
Yeah, I think that they have been playing well, and they have, along with the Real Madrid's first touch as well. Like I mean, they were pinging balls around like nobody's business either. They're a really good team. So yeah, they could win it, but at the same stage, you wouldn't be surprised if they didn't either. They're not the perfect team, but there's no perfect teams left in this.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a very interesting one because it could be literally anyone.
Bayern as well. Not Bayern. I say Chelsea. They definitely lack, quality up front and at the back and maybe even the middle. But
they still win. They find ways to win. Like
they're really solid, and they have really talented players like Pulisic. You could see him scoring a wonder goal.
Yeah,
Mason Mount.
Yeah,
Timo. As bad as he's been, he could score like
still good.
In semi-finals. There's it come down to one moment, and they have the players to produce those moments. Like Kai Havertz, Ziyech, these are really quality players. Haven't put it all together yet, but and like the 2012 run, stranger things have happened with worse teams that got to the final. So who knows at Chelsea either. You couldn't really write them off.
No, yeah.
And then Real Madrid have all the experience. Real Madrid have the quality of players. They have the manager. I mean, Benzema was good in that game. He didn't have his best game ever, but like he didn't go hiding. Do you know what I mean? Like when it was tough, he wasn't like, "Oh, come on, boys, let's." This is way too much. Like he was getting on the ball, he was creating chances, he was getting fouled a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't go hiding in the second half. So they have a really good, experienced team. Yeah, they're missing their centre backs. Ramos obviously has COVID now. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So that can affect people in different ways as well. So you'd never know. So there's no like clear winner. I think we might say City, but I think it could be anybody. Anybody could win this. Who would you guess?
I'm rooting for Madrid anyway. I think PSG will do it, but I'd like to see Madrid do it.
I think PSG, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am leaning towards PSG. I think it'll be a PSG Madrid final if I had to guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think PSG, it could be PSG's year.
What about, remember we were saying last time about the quadruple in football being finished? What about 3 of the last 4 teams in the Champions League being oil money teams?
Oh, yeah.
When Madrid are the good guys left, it's no good. It's bad news.
Yeah, when Real Madrid are the underdogs.
Yeah.
What has it become? What have we become here? Yeah. So, yeah, anybody's game still in Champions League. Semi-finals, only about semi-finals, sometimes they can be kind of really tight, tough games. You know what I mean? Like not the most entertaining. It's because they're already won. And then the final can also flatter to deceive a bit as well. It's like So
the final is usually the worst game, nearly always.
Yeah. Oh well, like take that PSG Bayern game, 2 games versus the one they played last year. This was infinitely better. You know what I mean? Because the final, there's so much to lose and everything to gain. But I mean, it's just
everyone's so scared of giving the ball away.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be the one mistake, because that's what So yeah, good games all around though. Yeah. So that was the Champions League games, as we say. But I mean, the main competition, Europe's premier competition. That's why they played the Thursday night after the Champions League. The Champions League is a warm up, as everyone knows.
How does the song go?
Oh, I'm usually walking around my house singing the Europa League song. Oh, da 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 da. No more racists in football. We will not take the knee. We do not believe in equality. Yeah, that was bizarre. It's one of those things like that the handshake before the game. Yeah, you just take no notice of it, and it's just until somebody like doesn't do it. It's like, oh fuck, he's not doing the handshake.
Yeah, that was a bold move of Praha to not take the knee.
I honestly, apparently did that in the last game. I didn't even notice.
They know they're the bad guys, right?
Are we the baddies?
Like, pretend you're not racist.
Yeah, because they didn't do the first game. I don't think anybody talked about it, like, because Arsenal took the knee and they were just like, yeah, we're not taking the knee, whatever. That's not what we do here. And then the second game, they all joined together in the middle of the pitch to make the point. Yeah. Hey, just in case you weren't sure the last game, we know what's happening and we're not doing
this. It's us against the rest of the world.
Seemingly, yeah.
Lacazette was pretty cool. That was a good thing.
Yeah, and obviously Arsenal lined up as normal. Lacazette in his forward position, in the centre circle there, took the knee, stared them down.
That was cool.
Yeah, it like it's kind of they're the bad guys and we're standing up to the bad guys kind of thing. But like Arsenal just infinitely better players, and higher salary, and way more facilities, and
it was 2 bad guys playing each other.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like Arsenal was the underdog, even though like you shouldn't have drawn against them at home. Yeah. But Arsenal United are similar in a way that they take a bit of a jolt sometimes. They're like, you have better players than them, and Arsenal showed that. I mean, they won very comfortably 4-0, had a goal disallowed, blew them away in the first 10 minutes. It's like, where's this? The first leg, where's this against all the teams this season? It's like, and look, not to take away from racism, nil, everybody else won, and all that stuff, but like, just in a footballing thing, it's like it can't take a racist instant for you to say, okay, now I'm going to take this serious. Like it has to be, because it's not going to be like that every week. So I mean, for Arsenal, it was a good win for them. 4-0. Great performance. Like I said, and I said this in the last game because we were kind of half joking, like, oh, they'll be up to put to Slavia Prague. And I was like, no, they don't have that in them. And I guess they did have that in them. They did take a kind of.
Do you think they listened to the pod and that's what got them going?
I don't know. I don't know if they do. I know who definitely does listen to pods. Paul Pogba, because he before the game he said, "Imagine if I was Pogba size," and he just started throwing in elbows, going in tackles, getting under the ball. Like, this is exactly what people should fear as they go out to see Paul Pogba, this 6'3" massive dude. Like, if I dodge this ball, he's gonna fucking do me. You know?
He's a giant. He's so lanky.
He used all his range last night. The first opening 20 minutes, he was really putting himself about.
All he had to take him off because he was. And it was the opposite of last week where, like, he's going to get hurt. It's like he's going to hurt someone.
He's going to hurt somebody, gets sent off. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Everybody always says, you know, Roy Keane or Paul Scholes, but as good as they were, technically, you knew that you weren't going to just, like, walk around them.
Yeah.
If you did, they're going to leave your shin something about.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Paul Scholes, especially, his whole thing was that he couldn't tackle. He could tackle. He just had no interest in it. He wanted to kick people.
And people always go on about how talented he was and what the best strikes of the ball. It's like, he could have easily said, well, you know, it's not really my game. I'm more kind of a creative. It's like, no, you have to kind of impose yourself in the game sometimes. And Pogba Def did that, and it was very comfortable for United after that first 20 minutes because, like, oh, fuck.
It was a much different Granada to last week. There was...
Yeah.
Ollie must have had a word with them, and it's like, you're all like 4 inches taller than all of these lads.
Yeah, and again, infinitely better players. I mean, you know, but yeah, it's like when Casemiro did Miller in again. It's like that kind of message, like, you know, you can't really bully us around. Like, we're able for that too. And if you don't have that, and that's been Arsenal's problem for a long time, it's kind of like, you know, if you put it about them, they're a soft team. Like, you do have to take the yellow card sometimes and say, well, you know, you have to try something different than that because that's not going to work. Compliment for Arsenal and compliment for United. Granada don't seem that bad in comparison to Slavia Prague in terms of the bad guy scale. I mean, a good season for them. I mean, definitely not the worst people in the competition. Then the other side, it was Roma Ajax. Did you see the highlights of that game?
Yeah, I did indeed. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I watched that game. That looked
it's
really good. The first goal that Ajax scored, unbelievable, like, passing movement and a great finish. And then Roma's goal, the opposite of that poor man from Porto.
Yeah.
Ridiculously good finishing goal. And then a really important goal to see you through. That's when you want to score the best goal in your career. When it's like to get you through a tough tie, you know? But I did see the score for Ajax. His great name, Brian Brobbery. It sounds like he made up the name on the spot. Name, please. Brian Brobbery. Did you say Brian Brobbery? Yeah, Brian Brobbery. My parents named me after alliteration. Okay.
Brobbery.
Get on the bus.
Your first name is also Brian.
Brian Brobbery.
Yeah, he's not a player. He's definitely he's two children in a super large jersey.
Yeah. So yeah, they go through. Roma play Man United. That'd be a good game. Obviously, everyone was saying that, last time Roma played United was the 7-1.
Fucking 20 years ago or something.
Well, no, we know that these things scar a club as an identity. So this is going to come back on United's favour for some reason. I don't know, but it just happens in European games. Like, do you remember that when they beat us 7-1? It's like, no, well, you should. They did. It's like, you are not how you weren't playing.
I was like 3 then, probably.
Yeah. Fucking Jude Bellingham wasn't even born. No, I don't know what year that was exactly, but that should be a good tie. And then Arsenal come back to face Unai Emery. They got through in the other side versus Dynamo Zagreb 2-1 on the night for them.
It feels like games sometimes, especially European games, they're just fixed to be the best narrative the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like, that's very odd for them to come up in a crucial game against Emery.
He's a decent manager and they're a decent team, I think.
Yeah. He's the Europa League man, though.
He's a good manager. Like they have a decent up squad. Villarreal. They have some names you might recognise from Premier League years, perhaps. Ethnic Capu, What's your man's name? Please play for Arsenal. Coquelin, Francis Coquelin.
No, yeah.
Raul Albiol used to play for Real Madrid.
That is a who's who.
Yeah, and then they have up front. They have Jared Moreno. See him playing for Spain there during the international break. He's kind of had a bit of a late bloomer.
Yeah.
29, but only got his call up for Spain a couple of years ago. He's going very well for them. And Paco Alcácer, remember him at Barcelona and Dortmund?
Yeah, remember he was savage at Dortmund for a few months. And then
he's only our age, but he's been to loads of places. He started
he's
at
our
Valencia.
age.
Yeah, 1993 he's born.
What? I thought he was a grown man, like a real adult.
I guess we are. I mean, we're not really grown men, but I mean, many people of our age are men.
That's true.
So they'll be decent. I'd say Emery will want to win that game badly.
Yeah,
because he was kind of blamed for the molasses at Arsenal.
He was blamed, and there was always a hint of just making fun of him all the time. I remember all the good evening.
Good evening, yeah. You know,
he's not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a sweet one, I'd say, to win. Obviously, he'd be very professional. I'm like, no, it's just another game to me. I don't care what these swine do. But not quite David Moyes coming in after Wenger, but an equally kind of a rebuilding project. You're never going to win. You know what I mean? Because the demands are too much. Like, you have to turn around in the next 2 years, and like, it's just never going to happen. So
he did well, considering it seems
he did all right. You know, I mean, he had a lot of players leaving and coming, and it was a shitty fucking situation to be in, and it happens sometimes. But yeah, he definitely kind of, and people saying Arteta, oh, you know, Arteta is kind of building something, whereas Emery, like, what was that? That was going nowhere. It's like he was just trying to fucking put out fires, really. But yeah, that'd be good. It does look kind of like a Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
From like the mid 2000s, Villarreal, Man United, Arsenal, and Roma. Alas, it is the secondary competition.
This whole competition for United has been straight out of the 2000s, like the Milan knockout game as well. Sociedad.
Yeah, it does feel like it's. You think it would be kind of on brand for Arsenal to lose to Emery, but it's kind of game they would win. For some, like, it would mean nothing really, but it's the kind of thing that they would, like, a moral victory again, like as if Arsenal the underdogs, far superior team on paper. You know, the resources you have versus Villarreal, like, I mean, but Arsenal come as the underdogs and they win that game. Do you think it'll be United Arsenal in the final? I don't want that. I don't want that either.
Yeah,
I retweeted that from the account there on Twitter. Someone said that nobody wants this. No, My United fans or Arsenal fans. Yeah. You think you're going to lose. I think we're going to lose. So it's like both teams like, no, this is the exact kind of game we would lose.
Why don't we just call it? We just split the trophy down the middle. We'll go our separate ways.
Yeah. Oh fuck. The only thing I'd say is like that it's kind of a disrespectfulness to it, especially in the English media. It's like,
yeah,
if Arsenal win this, is that even enough? It's like,
yeah.
At the same, I was like, this isn't going to save all the season. Should just win the Europa League. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck.
Massive. Some teams are desperate to win it. But that's the thing. I think that's why, like, I don't want it. You don't want it. It's because if either team wins, it's not that big a deal. But for whatever team loses, you're gonna have to listen to it for ages. Like, not even from the fans, but just from fucking Sky Sports, and whatever manager loses is immediately on the chopping block from the papers. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've lost the easy competition, which is again, we said before, it'll always be the secondary competition. It'll always be the prize that you don't want. But like, you know, to go over last 16 quarterfinals, semi-finals, over 2 legs and come out the other side of that and then go on to win the final against another European side and then to be like, is that good enough for Arsenal? Is that good enough for United? It's like, it's a legitimate competition. It just has that stink of like, this is bullshit though, isn't it really? Like, come on. It's like, you know, if you beat Roma, you beat Villarreal in the final and then beat United or Arsenal, whoever it is, like, you know, it'd be no small feast. So,
well, it'd be massive for Arsenal to get in Champions League.
And that too, that's the real prize,
see,
not the
United.
Trophy, you know?
United is for the like, Ollie's finally going to win a trophy, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
like, they're looking like they're going to finish second anyway. So after a few weeks, it'll be forgotten again. Like, so.
Yeah, it's hard to know if you know, Arsenal will get there, because we were saying that about City. with the running they have. I don't know what Arsenal's running or what their kind of games leading up to it are. But yeah, we'll see. It was good though. It was exciting to watch. Arsenal win a game convincingly, albeit against.
I did not expect that at all. I thought they'd scrape through, but it was pretty comfortable.
I guess that was a kind of if that doesn't get your juices flowing, a team standing in front of you saying like a lot of black players on Arsenal. So I mean, that would kind of say, all right. I mean, who's it? Like Pepe, Lacazette, and Saka all scored.
You can't lose after that as well. That'd be so embarrassing to be the good guys and get beaten.
It'd be infuriating, to be honest. I'd say so. You saw the Phil Foden stuff, well, the
Twitter
madness. This like it happened with Joe Hart before a couple of weeks ago in the Europa League, and it was like, oh, sorry, my team tweet. I was like, first of all, who's following Joe Hart on Twitter and Instagram? And then now you're following someone who works for Joe Hart to say what Joe Hart might think. I mean, why bother following any footballer if it's just a social media company? And it did. When you read that tweet, and I didn't see it, Phil Foden tweeted, oh, fuck, was it at Mbappe, see you next week, see you soon, like a handshake emoji. It read like a fucking, like a KFC would tweet something like, and it's like, it's borderline kind of cringe. It was done years ago when like the first people started tweeting like a normal person from the accounts. I mean, it was just like, what is that? Like, what tweet is that, man?
And now it's like it's extra pressure on Foden.
But like, it's just what's an add to anything? It's like, oh, look at Phil Foden tweet at Mbappe. It's like he doesn't even know him. I don't know. It's weird. So funny though. Funny had to come. He's sacked the social media company and he's denied that he said something so lame. I would never say something so uncool. I swear.
Yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with it.
He was just ferociously embarrassed by that tweet.
Sacked 14 people.
But rightly so. I fucking don't do that shit. Don't fucking tweet out stuff like, or even the Joe Hart one, job done. Like, what's that add to people's lives? You know what I mean? To see Joe Hart tweeting job done, like the sub goalie for Tottenham.
He wasn't playing.
But not even him. It was someone who works for the sub goalie for Tottenham was tweeting out job done, and you like that? What is this? We are in the fucking Matrix, so that's fucking what's happening. Like, oh god.
Speaking of bad social media, what's ours, Cathal?
Well, you won't see.
You won't see any job dones.
10-toe football or 10-toe fucking media, whatever that company's called. They won't be running our fucking media. It'll be us who will sporadically tweet something sometimes. And just post clips from the podcast you've just listened to on the Instagram. And
well, ideally you listen to the clip and then you won't listen to the episode.
Yeah, ideally you've listened to a clip and that's how you found us.
Yeah. I don't know if that's how it works so far though.
I don't know how it works at all. I mean, if I knew how it worked, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. Well, I wouldn't be. I'd have my life more together if I knew how things worked. Anyways, the @NoNonsense pod on Instagram.
Yep.
And then
No Nonsense Pod. Let me go again.
you say it. I don't know them. You say them.
Right. So on Instagram, it's @_ Right, we go.
We should get a social media company.
Do you think Phil Foden's free?
Oh yeah. Well, there's somebody who needs a job right now. I'll message Phil Foden and say, pass on their number to me. And
Right. So Instagram is @no_nonsense_pod.
Yeah.
And Twitter is @NoNonsensePod.
Yeah. Or alternatively, give us a quick Google @NoNonsensePodcast football. It should come up pretty quick. Give us a follow on that.
Follow us on Spotify. Doesn't do anything for you, but it helps us. Just hit the little button.
Subscribe and download all that.
It's all the usual stuff everyone always tells you.
Yeah, I mean, you know the drill at this point, folks. I mean, come on, it's 2021. If you don't have to subscribe to an online duo of idiots talking about something, you have not been paying attention. So yeah, thanks for that. We'll be back, I would say, Tuesday for the Premier League action. We got FA Cup of the weekend as well. The semi-finals are coming through. And we'll bring you all the shits and giggles from that.
Perfect. Yep.
All right. Thanks very much, folks.
Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. nonsense, all nonsense. But listen, I've been down that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?